As being someone who loves the outdoors, being from North Georgia has its perks. I was growing up, I was only an hour away from several different points in the Appalachian Trail. And that can even be said about Clemson. I expect most of us are here a lot of the year. So I bet a lot of you didn't know that you are about an hour away from several different points where you can go hike one of America's greatest attractions. Everyone in this area should know three different things: some general facts about the Appalachian Trail, a brief history of it, and what to expect when you're on it. Because about three-fourths of the class didn't even know where this trail had started and ended, or they had never been on it, which I think is just insane. So, on to my first point. I think it's very important to know some of the general facts about the Appalachian Trail because it's important to know. You live in this area, so I think it should be something that a lot of Southerners know about. So to start, the trail is about 2,200 miles long. It's a long trail. It goes through 14 states according to the Britannica Encyclopedia Britannica, and it changes year to year due to just the path naturally changing due to weather or just any unfortunate circumstances that the path can come into. Um, According to the National Park Foundation, the 14 states that the trail runs through are Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, and ending in Maine. It's a lot of states. One interesting tidbit that I found on Explore North Georgia is that Brasstown Bald is the highest point in Georgia on the Appalachian Trail, which is very interesting because I soon found out later that that point is in fact in the town where I grew up and am from. So it's really interesting to know that we're under an hour away from one of the tallest points in Georgia, and people just seem to not know that. And so one more other thing is that it takes 5 to 7 months to actually do a through hike of the trail. You might ask, what's a through hike? Well, a through hike is starting in Georgia or Maine and walking the entire trail. Now, you might ask, who has 5 to 7 months? We certainly don't as students. What you can do is go and just interject yourself onto the trail and walk a few miles and have a good time and then come back. It does not take 5 to 7 months. So on to my main point. Like anything else, I think it's really important to have a good understanding of the history of what you're learning about. It helps get a deeper understanding of anything really. So Benton MacKaye had the original idea of the Appalachian Trail, but the original idea wasn't what we see today. The original idea was supposed to be just a small trail connecting several farms and camps so that people in the city could come see the countryside, or just the eastern coast of the United States. The construction began in the north and it was pieced together state by state. So it began in Connecticut and the New York area, and these states had to move along and create a brand new trail from basically untouched wilderness. It started in 1921 and was finished in 1937. That's a 16-year time period. That's a long time. Well, you might ask, why did it take so long? These people didn't have the technology we see today. They had to go out there and explore the wilderness, cut down trees with nothing but like a map and a compass. It took them a long time because they don't have what we have today. Now on to my main point, what you could expect if you go on the trail today. I think this is really important because you can never really understand something if it's just from a purely factual point of view compared to a purely historical point of view. It's obviously going to be an extremely biodiverse area. I mean, going from Maine to Georgia, the northern and southern states are nothing alike. I think a lot of people would understand that. The weather patterns are obviously not the same. According to the National Appalachian Trail Conservation Association, says that the weather in North Georgia can be frigid at times of the year, and I can attest to that. I live there. But it can also be very warm in the summer. It really just depends on where you're at in the state. some animals that you could run into, according to the Encyclopedia Britannica, would be bears, mooses, coyotes, bobcats, porcupines, and raccoons. Now, you may say, so I could ask, how many of you have seen a moose in your backyard if you live in the South? And all of you should probably say no. And if you say yes, you should probably call someone. It just depends on where you're at in the trail when it comes to the weather and the animals that you're going to see on the trail. It just really depends on where you're at and the time of year. So, in conclusion, the Appalachian Trail offers an incredible hike with several different chances to see something you've never seen before, and incredible scenery. And I think it's really important to know the general facts, the history, and what to expect on the trail. And I hope that this speech has given y'all an insight to that.